as we dive deeper into this observation meeting, I have some questions to kind of help guide our meeting and where to go from here. So what do you think your strengths and area of growth are in your teaching practice?
I think strengths wise, like, I feel like I really think through like the levels of all the learners and like what I can kind of predict the outcomes of like what they're probably going to do throughout the lesson, which kind of helps guide that teaching. As far as like growth areas, I feel like my questioning could be better instead of asking more closed questions. Just thinking about like those open-ended questions, and then not only the open-ended, but just a variety of different types of questions that I could use. So that's something where I think I can always grow in.
Yeah, and I definitely saw that too. They were definitely more closed, which the students were giving yes or no responses. And we could definitely work on that over time.
Yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how close is your lesson to ideal?
Oh man. I mean, never ideal. There's always areas of improvement. I think that like 7 out of 10, right? I feel like the students participated and they got what I was hoping they got out of there, but I just think that there's always room for improvement. I think especially when they were writing their questions, I think they had a hard time coming up with examples and like sentence starters for that, which that's a skill that we've already worked on. So I think that's something that even reviewing and continuing to go over before they actually have that independent time, maybe I could have done a little bit better with that too.
Yeah, and I think you did very, very, very well. Overall, your sentence starters, those students definitely benefit from that, which is great that you use that strategy for sure. So what would you have to change to make it closer to a 10?
I mean, I think I kind of already talked about that. Like, I feel like even just like going over those sentence starters and like scaffolding it a little bit more and using more modeling. I did do some modeling, but maybe I didn't do enough in that sense, but kind of adjusting the lesson as we go and just continuing to look at how those students respond, which sometimes when you're in the lesson, that's just what you have to do anyways, is you have to wait until you kind of see how they react and respond to what you're trying to teach them and what you're trying to get at. So
I mean, and we definitely see areas of concern with socialization with these students. So that's also playing a part in that as well.
Yeah.
So what would you see your students doing differently?
I think that hopefully just like building more independence with that skill. I think that as they actually like are brainstorming their list, like less guidance from me, less the I do, we do. It's more of the you do piece throughout the lesson. So that's what the hope is, the independence in that.
And I think when we implement more effective questionings, higher level, more variety, I think that'll guide that to that independence, which would be fantastic. And you, again, just sharing the scaffolding is great. Students aren't always at the same level, so meeting them where they're at and building your instruction and your lesson off of that is key. So good job on that. So overall, we're gonna think of some goals for you to use in your teaching. So one observation we kind of already talked about was using more effective questioning. And then you shared that again, just working on the overall questions. If you could reach a specific goal, how would it make a difference in your classroom?
Oh gosh, a specific goal. Well, I just think that like with the variety of questioning, like you said, I think just like, again, building the independence level and having them be able to respond to those more open-ended questions versus the closed questioning versus having me just give them a yes or no, because that's an easy out versus them expanding on their thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. You've listed a lot of great teaching strategies. Is there anything else you would like to try with your teaching before I kind of give some suggestions?
Oh gosh, there's always things I can work on, but I think maybe starting with the questioning would be a good start.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.